right, so sorry about that. Sorry about the little delay. We had a little hiccup with the internet here. But we now should be live on Facebook, and we're also live with an actual audience here. So we don't do these too often. We've actually did this 2 years ago. Some of you guys were probably here. And what this is basically just a chance for you guys to ask me pretty much any questions you want. So I will open it up down here. Did anyone, hopefully maybe anyone, write down some questions or have questions? And then you are welcome, if you're watching at home, you're welcome to go ahead and ask questions there. I'll see those pop up and I will do my best to answer all those. But this is kind of a pre-event for the National Convention that officially starts tomorrow with the kickoff party. All right, so let's see. Somebody at home said, how much are the tickets for drawings? So the session prizes, for those who have never attended a convention, those are all included in your admission. There's what's called upgrades and some different things that you can do for some other prizes. But all the session prizes, all the speakers, all the events, the kickoff party, those are all included in your registration. And that's pretty normal each year. And the registrations vary. The earlier you do it, the more you save money. So, all right, somebody don't be shy here and ask the first question.
Where's Roscoe?
Where is Roscoe? So, despite seeing that he was on a bus on his way here, and some of you guys saw he's ready for Vegas for next year, he is at home. So Roscoe's doing well. He's 14 now. So yeah, he's getting up there in age. And the only sad thing to report is he doesn't hear very well. So it's really sad. And like normally, if you dropped a cracker, anything, you know, he could be outside and all of a sudden he's right there and he'll grab it. But now there's been times where I'll put his food in his bowl and he eats 3 times a day because that's what he requests. And I normally, you know, he's there, but sometimes, you know, he'll be in my office or something. I'm like, hey, Roscoe, it's dinner time. And so come on. Be like, oh, okay. Didn't know. So, but he normally does have that internal clock at about 5. Sometimes it's now like 5:30, 5:45 because he eats around 6 and he'll just sit there in front of his bowl and wait. So.
They're asking, they asked about the tickets. Someone's responding again. They want to know about your new little scratch-off tickets you're doing at 11 and 2. That's what they were wanting to know.
Oh, the scratch-off tickets. Okay. So scratch-off tickets are something I do each year. You can pick these up in the vendor room. They are $1 each. There will be some available at 11 a.m. and then there'll be a second set available at 2 o'clock. You can win a whole multitude of prizes. Basically, it works like a scratch-off does. You scratch it off. If there's a number under it, you get a prize. The number corresponds to anywhere from a koozie and sunglasses to cameras and Amazon dots and stuff like that. The big prize is an iPad. So you can actually win an iPad this year with the scratch-offs. And how that works is there will be 100 in each session, the 100 in the 11 o'clock and 100 in the 2 o'clock that will have a star on them. If you get a star, you put your name on just like you would do for any of your other tickets, and there'll be a bin and you'll drop it, and so you have a 1 in 200 shot at the iPad. So the reason I do it that way is when I started doing scratch-off years ago, I always like to have a big prize, and the very first one I did was Maryland. And I don't know, Susan was probably maybe in Maryland. I know some of the people were in Maryland because that was the first time they met me, but I gave away a TV, was the big prize. Now, fortunately, the TV stayed in the bin. So like people sat and just kept buying them until somebody got the TV. So there were a couple things I learned from doing at that time that, you know, somebody could have literally bought the first ticket and got the TV. Now, granted, there's all kinds of stuff. But so that's why this came about, so that you never have to feel like, oh, what's left? You know, at least you can always win a star, and, you know, for $1, you could still win an iPad. Somebody asked me, like, will they be available? How long? It's varied. Last time in Arizona, I don't know if they lasted an hour. And I only did one set. Now, like some people do, you know, thousands. I don't. I try and limit it to around 1,000 or so tickets, sometimes as little as 500, just based on size of convention. And the reason being is, one, I only have so much luggage to bring so many prizes out. And two, I like there to be a very high probability that you get something. So even if it's one of those pair of yellow sunglasses, that there are some that you guys probably have 15 of. So, but there's all kinds of fun stuff. It really, a lot of people do it. It's more just fun. Someone online asked about Vegas. So if you haven't already heard, Vegas next year, and I don't want to go into everything because I'm going to let Donna speak on it directly. But some of you've been to the website now. You've seen it in your packets. What they decided to do, after a lot of feedback, was they made an after party. So some people love what was previously known as like upgrades. It's cash, gift cards, all kinds of things like that. Other people could care less. And so if you could care less, then you show up and you were forced, kind of, sort of. You could leave, I guess. But to sit and listen to this for hours, it takes hours. It's a long time to call a lot of names. And so now it's a total separate event. It's a separate event. It will be Saturday evening, and it's one price, and everyone has the exact same shot. So there isn't different levels. Nobody has a better chance than somebody else. And it's also optional, though. You don't have to do it. You want to go hit the tables, hit the pool, go see Penn and Teller, whatever you want to do in Vegas. So by all means, you can go do that. So that's why that's there. But again, Donna's going to speak more on that this week. I'll let her do her thing on that. But I'm excited. I have stayed at that hotel probably at least 20 times. I really like Paris, right next door. Paris is probably my favorite. But that was the very first hotel I stayed at when I was 21 years old, was Bally's, which it's now the Horseshoe. I have stayed there twice since the rebranding. It was rebranded at the end of 2021. So I stayed there twice at some point last year.
Is there a lot of things within walking distance of that hotel? I've only been to Vegas once and don't remember things.
In my opinion, it could not be a better part of the Strip. And I'm saying that for real. I love staying there. Bally's and Paris are connected through a tunnel. So I always went back and forth, Bally's, Paris, Bally's, Paris. Right across the street is the Bellagio fountains. That if you've never seen them, you got to go see it, check it out. Caesars is almost diagonal. But if you haven't been to Vegas in a while, they have almost eliminated all of the street crossing. Before you'd stand there and you'd kind of play Frogger, you'd hope that, you'd have to go across. They've built these overhead bridges to take you everywhere. So you can leave, go out the door at Bally's, go right up an escalator, and they have escalators on all of them too. It's not stairs. It will take you across the street over to Flamingo. Cromwell, thank you. That one's changed names a lot. And then you can go right across the street again, and you walk right up into Caesars. Now, see, remember Vegas? These properties are huge. Like Caesars property is huge. Like I used to always make the joke, wherever I went in at Caesars, I came out a different door. So, you definitely, there's a lot of walking if you want to do the walking. There's an In and Out now on the Strip. So some of you guys have seen, because I go to Vegas a little bit too much. I'll be there again a week from Saturday. But I'm not staying at Bally's. Where am I staying this time? I'm staying at Mirage, which is in the process of rebranding. It was bought by Hard Rock. And so no more Volcano. And I'm staying at Park MGM as well. So I'm splitting my stay in two. But it truthfully is, I think, just an ideal spot. There is a CVS that is right outside of Bally's. The prices are a little bit more higher, but literally that's my first stop almost every single trip, is to go over there and just get some water and some drinks for the room. You know, a case of water costs you, I don't know, $6, $8, whatever it is, but you know, they're slightly higher. And if you don't want that, there's like a Walgreens down the street. Restaurants, there's plenty. One of my favorite restaurants in Vegas now is they rebranded the Bally's Steakhouse as Jack Binion's. I've ate there twice since it's been rebranded. It is more on the expensive side, I'd say. I actually had, I had comp dollars towards it, but it was very good. It's definitely very good. So I'm looking forward to Vegas. I'm excited. What else do you guys have? You don't have to write them down, I guess. If somebody wrote them down, they can pass them down, but you're more than welcome to go ahead and shout them out.
Bridge, street crossings, do they have elevators for those that have like,
Yes,
scooters?
yes, absolutely. Every single one has elevators. They are very ADA compliant, friendly. You know, all this stuff has been built new in the last, you know, few years. So right now, Vegas is, are you bringing that down? You're welcome, bring it down here.
Are there grocery stores close by in Vegas, or?
What are you looking at for groceries? What,
Like food, you know,
like fresh vegetables and stuff like that?
Yeah.
You guys would probably know better than I do. I don't know the nearest grocery to the strip.
Probably a couple miles away. Yeah.
Uh,
You might be able to do Amazon or Walmart delivery though. something like
The
that.
only street crosswalk is in front of Planet Hollywood, it goes right across the Cosmopolitan.
And in front of the lake.
Yeah, that's the only couple I know that, but it's a light,
Yep, I know that one very familiar.
I mean, it gives you
Plenty of-
45 seconds
Uh,
per minute.
The other thing too is Bally's happens to be a monorail stop. So if you're in Bally's, there's an escalator that takes you downstairs. Some of you guys may remember if you went to Bally's years ago. I know I'm gonna keep calling it Bally's, but now it's Horseshoes. But there used to be $3 blackjack tables down there when you actually played with the silver $1 coins. Man, I'm dating myself, but I remember that on my first trip. You know, playing down there and playing $3 blackjack. They don't have those anymore. They have some food, like they have a little food court down there.
There's that
Is this,
section out in front now that leads up to the boulevard from Horseshoe out that's got all kinds of shops and restaurants.
is the sports book officially moved at Horseshoe upstairs?
We haven't been.
I can't remember. The sports book was downstairs, but that's where you go out to the pool is there and then out to the monorail. You can buy passes online, and you just use your phone. And it's, I don't know, was it like $22 or so for,
It's not bad. And sometimes if you play My Vegas games at all, you can sometimes get one as a reward. So if you play 3 games on there, you can sometimes get a free monorail pass.
but that works really well if you want to, because you buy an unlimited pass. And it will actually take you all the way very close to the Stratosphere and then all the way over to MGM Grand and New York is on the far end, so.
There's a bus too, double deck, dudes, they call it, that runs up
And
and
there's
down.
a free tram from Bellagio to Park MGM.
So for those at home, somebody mentioned there's a free tram from Bellagio to Park MGM, and there's also a bus, so as well. So, I mean, you have tons of transportation. Uber and Lyft are very prevalent. They're marked in pretty much every hotel. They're marked. So I couldn't tell you the last time I had a car in Vegas, so.
Someone wants to know if you've come across any snakes, real or fake.
So that is referring to one at this hotel, and I don't want to freak anyone out because when we checked in, we mentioned it to the person, and the person was like, wow, I've only seen one rattlesnake on property since I've worked here. And there was a rattlesnake in the parking lot at this hotel as we were walking back at night. So do be aware, they are here. I mean, it's not, they're out there. But no, knock on wood, I have not seen any. And my wonderful friends played a joke on me and put a very realistic looking fake one in front of my door and videotaped the whole thing. So, and Rob, who's in the back, can take credit for the idea. And I saw him sitting in the pool, and I was like, why is he in the pool at like midnight? And he was waiting for me to come back so that they could make sure they saw my reaction. And it scared me. I said some words that were not able to be put on camera. So, do you know how much the rooms are for next year? So I actually do, but is it not on the site? It is on the site? Okay. So if I'm wrong on this, I apologize because I'm doing it just from memory, but I didn't want to say it if it's not already on the site. I think it's $85 plus the resort fee, correct?
I think it's around $125.
Yeah, it's about $125 a night. So it's a very realistic room, and that $125 includes your resort fee, which includes, I don't know, internet. I think you get like a bottle of water or something. So,
What's the website?
National Sweepstakes Convention.com. Yeah, I have it up on iWIN. So if you're trying to find all the details, they have a Facebook page and they have a website, and they both went live yesterday, and they're both posted on iWin, and I put them out on social media as well. Let me see if I have some more online. Somebody asked about 2025. There are people who have expressed interest. I think, but again, I'm not hosting, so I don't want to speak for them, but I think there will be an announcement of location, which is very normal for the 2025 convention before the 2023 one ends. So, but somebody mentioned the huge financial responsibility. For anyone who hasn't been to the Vegas Facebook page, Donna, who is the host next year, it's Donna Chandler. So she just recently got married. Congrats to her and her poor husband, who has to be one of the other, spouse non-sweeper people like my wife that is learning all this. But yeah, she put out some of like the proposals, and she's going to do various different games and contests throughout, just so that you guys can see some of the responsibility. Like, normally people are like, why in the world does a chicken dinner cost $125? That doesn't make any sense. And no, it doesn't. It's because you pay food and beverage costs to get your meeting space. It's just like a wedding. If anyone's ever done a wedding, you get the hall basically, or the area, for free, but your meal and your drinks and everything is very, very expensive. So someone asked how hot Vegas is. Well, we have some Vegas people here. How hot is Vegas right now?
Like 105.
105.
Yeah.
So it's a cool 105.
Don't worry, so it can be 117 too.
But good news, the convention will once again be indoors next year. So it will be indoors. I mean, is anyone hot in here? Nobody's really hot in here. It's
105 with 6% humidity. That's
105, 6% humidity. So that's live right now if you were in Vegas. So. What else do we have? What is the dress code for the lunch on Saturday? No swimsuits. Shirts are required, shoes are required. No, it's casual here. I know that in the past, sometimes the banquets are a little more formal. And some people love that, some people hate it. There will be people who maybe dress up for it. It is warm in here, and not in here, but in Arizona. So, no, I will be in, like, I'll be in shorts and a polo shirt. Maybe I'll lose the hat. So, yeah, wear what you're comfortable with.
Seeing so many sweepstakes now, there are fewer and fewer cars as prizes. Do you see that, reason, if there's money?
So, somebody asked here, for those at home, are there fewer sweeps with cars? There seems to be fewer sweeps with cars. I feel like there may be fewer bigger prizes overall. In general, I've a younger sweeper still, or at least I like to think so. So I've only been entering on about, maybe 15 years now. iWIN's been around almost 11, so about 15 years. And I hear the stories of people, it was so easy to win a car 20 years or 25 years ago, and you come to a convention and there's multiple people who have won multiple cars. I can't speak for back then, but it's definitely hard to win a car, in my opinion. I feel like a trip to Disney, they're some of the hardest things to win. Like, it's way easier to win a trip to the Super Bowl than it is a car or a trip to Disney. So, somebody asked, there's often a trend for entering sweepstakes, such as entering on Twitter, then Instagram, then TikTok. Is there a trend for this year? What is your thought? Is it wise to follow these trends, or are they misleading? That's a lot of good information. So there are always trends. I'd say in the last 6 months to a year, a lot of things have started to move to TikTok. We're seeing it more and more and more. And TikTok's still a good place to enter. The problem is there's so many eyes on TikTok. And then what you've noticed is if you're doing, say, something you have to post, even a random one, you can't search and see all the entries. And also, if I'm an influencer, I may use a trending hashtag, and maybe Taco Bell's running a sweeps. And so I use the hashtag Taco Bell sweeps is what I'm supposed to do, but it has nothing to do with the contest whatsoever. And I speak for, a lot of you guys know I won a very big trip to Hawaii last year on TikTok. A lot of the entries had nothing to do with what the contest was, but they were just people trying to get views, because views mean money for a lot of people on TikTok. So, is it wise to follow them? It is. I mean, you want to go where the entries are. For example, and I know I'm going to insult some of you guys, mail-ins are almost obsolete. So don't get me wrong, there's still a few mail-ins. I have 2 that I'm mailing for every single day right now. But if you're mailing for 20, you're probably not following those trends. Now, if you're winning from it and it works, have at it. It's just like, I don't do a lot of tagging sweeps, whether they're on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. I just don't waste my time. You may see me do an occasional one here and there, just something I want, but it's not a priority for me at all. It's actually one of the few things that I will block someone for, is if they over tag me and they're just tagging me and stuff, because I don't want to be tagged. I don't need a mermaid tail. I don't need a candle that smells like Honey Nut Cheerios, even though, yes, there's one in Pick a Prize. I don't need that stuff. That's what Lee told me to say. But no, you got to do what works for you still. And how I sweep is different than how Kenny or how Alan or Diane, we all sweep different ways. And if we're winning and we're happy and we're content with our results, you can't really fault the person for that. When I teach classes or when I'm up here speaking, I tell you what works for me, but that may not work for you. I use an Excel sheet for my entries. That may not work for you. You may not like Excel. You may not like bookmarks. You may like to use my sweeps on iWIN. You got to do what's truly best for you. But I say yes, follow the new trends. The new trends are photos, videos, even if they're random. And we all know random's not always random. So try and do a good entry. Let's see what we got. Any contests to win convention fee next year for Vegas. So there is if you're here. I don't know, and Donna's not here. I don't know if you sign up this weekend online. Well, you can't. You can't sign up online because you have to mail a check. So I believe you have to be present at the convention. If you sign up at the convention, you pay check or cash. One person will get the registration money back. They'll draw that on Sunday and give that person their money back. So now there may be some contests throughout the year, that either someone runs or Donna runs. I will tell you, Donna plans. For those who don't know, Donna ran Utah a few years back, and helped run Utah, but she did contests and things leading up to it the entire time. So I think you're going to see a lot of that this year, probably more than you have the last few years. It's just something she likes to do. Somebody said hello from Miami, so hello to Alicia in Miami. Somebody's won a trip to Disney but not managed to win a car. Will I be doing more lives for those who aren't in Arizona this year? So for those who haven't heard, tomorrow night after the kickoff event, I will be talking to Miss Harriet Brown. There will not be a live audience, but it will be up on Facebook. It will be, I'm guessing, around 9:30 Arizona time, roughly. It just depends. Once we get done, I get everything set up, I get her set to go. But we'll do that if it's too late, especially for those on the East Coast, because it's going to start around 12:30 a.m. It will be up. I'll post the link. It'll be up on YouTube the next day. In fact, this one will be up on YouTube afterward as well. And then I'll do some random ones. I know some people want to do sweeper cribs. So if I knock on your door, answer. So now nobody's going to answer the door. I'll be standing outside the whole time. Sweeper cribs was invented here last year or 2 years ago. I don't even know how it started. I just was wandering around the property and just kind of popped in on people who were, a lot of them happened to be, I could hear them watching the live. So I'd just go knock on the door or show up on their patio. So it was kind of funny. So yeah, maybe we'll try and do that. Let me see if I missed anything on here. We got Houston, Maryland, St. Lucie, Florida, all checking in. Anyone have some more questions here? And notice I'm using my iWIN Tom cup that a member got me that I love. Yes.
Do you know how many people have signed up and are at the convention this year?
I do, because I bought those bags that you all have. But I'll let them officially announce it. So I don't want to overstep in that. For those who don't know, and Donna was actually teasing me because when I announced the Vegas convention, somebody said, "Oh, do you put this on?" And Donna teases me all the time because I happen to show up right at the end of once they've moved all the boxes or they bagged all the envelopes. I'm like, "Oh, you need some help?" And she's like, "You just time it perfectly every time." But no, a lot of times I don't want to say the face of the convention, but you see a lot of me. You see a lot of me doing events, or this week you're going to see a lot of me because I happen to be emceeing. I don't have anything to do with the financials, the decisions. They may ask my opinion on something, but no, these guys, this week it's Paul and Karen, their sister-in-laws. They live like 2 doors apart from each other. So they live about as far as their hotel rooms are here. But they're in charge, so you'll see a lot of them. Their daughter Colleen is here, and she just got engaged, her fiance. They have 2 sons who are here. Rob is in the back. Rob is the husband of Paula, and Kieran's husband will also be here. So you'll see them throughout the week. So you'll see me, but truthfully, they do all the work. I just try and keep you guys entertained for a couple days. So,
Did you have any Heinz ketchup packets mailed to you? If so, does your mailman ever question you about your fees?
you know what? I truly think my mailman hates me. That poor guy, you know, I live in one of the streets where, you know, you drive up in the truck and you put the stuff in, but if it doesn't fit in the mailbox, then you gotta go walk it up to the door. I mean, that poor guy walks to my door a lot, to the point if I see him coming, I'm like, oh, maybe I should go out, and so he doesn't have to get out of his truck today. I've never had a conversation with him. So we did have the same UPS guy for probably 5, 6 guys. Like, he knew Roscoe, Roscoe knew him, and we'll go into the Roscoe story in a second on UPS. But that guy knew what I did, and he just thought it was crazy. You know, he'd show up and be like, so what is it? What'd you win? You know, and because he was at my house sometimes multiple times a week. As far as Heinz packets, here's another bag. I have literally hundreds of these in my hotel room. Unfortunately, a lot of them are the same states. You know, we're all trying to chase the $100,000 or any of the other prizes. They're just not out yet. Keep looking. So, or mailing.
Harder to not try to get the 50 to get in that $100,000 bracket and stay in one of the low ones, a better odds.
So I'll answer that off live, only because I think it's a strategy question and in fairness to iWIN members. So I'll do that. But yeah, once we go off live, I'll answer that question. For those who don't know and are watching this live, I often don't talk about specific sweeps on lives or things that I'm doing publicly because iWIN, for some of you who don't know, I know most of you guys in here know, is membership based, and I just think it's fair to protect those members. So now I may talk about, you know, like most people know about this sweep, so I'll talk about it in general, but as far as strategy or different things, you know, a lot of times I kind of shy away from that. Because I want to keep my thoughts to the iWIN members and trying to help them win. Someone said they need a plan for Vegas next year. Start saving. So, start saving. Will iWIN be at the Memphis, Tennessee mini convention in October? So there is a mini. It's going to be in Memphis, Tennessee. I did just recently sign up. I believe they are kind of close to selling out. So if you are thinking about going, same thing, details are on the site. It's ran by the Repco family, Joe and Angela. I've known them from years, from Michigan. They moved to Tennessee. They decided to do a little mini. It's going to be, anyone know the dates? It's the dates of the Vegas race. October 14th and 13th through 15th. So it's a Friday night, an all-day Saturday, and then they have a little bit on Sunday. So I know I'm flying in Friday morning and out Sunday evening. But yes, I will be there. Vicki is on a plane in Portland waiting to take off. Hopefully you are not delayed as much as I was. Let's see. I think I'm caught up online that I didn't miss anything. Any other questions in here? You guys are all done? All right, well, I'm going to wrap this up then, and then we'll answer a couple of the other questions, and we'll have some prizes. So thanks for watching at home. We will be doing some more. If you missed this or you missed the beginning of it, once I get it formatted, I'll get it posted, I'll get it up on YouTube as well. But I thank you all for attending live and attending virtually.